Why are you mad? Wouldn't you want to? I want the same thing for my son. I don't want him to ever have to work. Why does that bother a mother so much? And why is that always being thrown in my face that that's such a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
And I told them, listen, no more handouts. No more handouts. It can't be. Because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money.
They didn't teach them about contracts, they didn't teach them about saving, they didn't teach them about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the way. What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question.
Okay, so before we even get into this, I need you to stop whatever you're doing right now, because what I'm about to tell you allegedly changes everything you thought you knew about the man who literally called himself Money. And listen, that nickname might have been a warning label this whole time, not a flex.
For a pot to in the window to throw. I got tongue twisted. Don't have a pot to in the window to throw it out of. Bitch, don't even got a fucking car to drive. I'ma start popping it like that on y'all, cause I just be like, I be real.
Because reports are swirling, fans are talking, insiders are allegedly whispering, and Floyd Mayweather's own daughter, Iyanna Yaya Mayweather, has reportedly been dropping hints on social media that suggest her father's financial picture is.
I was to buy them cars, told them, listen, from here on out, if you guys go to school or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business, and I'll put the money up to help you start a business, but I need you guys to take what I've already started and triple and double that, and then I need my grandchildren to come behind you guys and do the same thing.
And I'm choosing my words carefully here. Quote, misunderstood by the public, which is a very interesting word to use when your dad owns a private jet, a Vegas mansion, and reportedly once spent $1 million on a weekend in Monaco. Because here's the thing nobody is asking. What if the private
Here in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner. You have never heard Cox. You never heard DirecTV. You have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke.
the jet isn't fully his? What if the mansion has liens on it? What if the weekend in Monaco was charged to something? And what if, stay with me, the entire Money Mayweather persona was always more performance art than bank statement? Because online speculation has been absolutely erupting this week after documents allegedly surfaced, suggesting Floyd may have faced serious tax-related situations in recent years.
And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
Former ESPN writer
Floyd Mayweather is an example of the stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all, and now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of debt. And this is what I was trying to make the point to Cam Newton about. This whole, I'm doing it for the culture. What is doing it for the culture ever?
And we're not talking pocket change here, we're talking numbers with multiple commas. And sources close to the situation are allegedly saying that the IRS allegedly flagged accounts. And look, I'm not saying that's confirmed, but fans are screaming about this online, and this is where it gets interesting. Floyd's team came out almost immediately and denied everything, which, okay, fine. But here's what's strange.
For going broke, because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there, because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse a man of going broke. So maybe he's bored.
Mainly 50.
Maybe he's bored. The number 50 don't mean nothing, because he's still performing like he always.
When someone denies something that specifically and that quickly, online investigators always want to know why the denial was so detailed. Because you don't prepare a 3-paragraph statement for a rumor you're not worried about. And speaking of things people aren't worried about, wait, actually hold on, because we need to talk about the lawsuits first, because allegedly...
Look right here. Right here, hook. Hook right here.
There have been multiple legal situations filed against Mayweather-affiliated entities involving unpaid obligations, business disagreements, and financial arrangements that reportedly did not go as planned. And one alleged situation reportedly involves a significant sum tied to a real estate venture that may or may not have underperformed dramatically. And now I know what you're thinking. This is Floyd Mayweather. He made $1 billion in boxing. And yes, the technically reports suggest his career earnings were somewhere in that stratosphere. But here's the twist that nobody in mainstream media is talking about. And this is where the story completely flips.
You see the glitz, even though you see Floyd in the streets ripping and running, one thing he never neglected was the gym. He always stayed true to his roots and he perfected his craft, and that's why he became who he became. I personally wish that Floyd Mayweather at 49 years old would be somewhere kicking up his feet, living off his investments.
Aya, after being courted by her dad, an NBA YoungBoy, got on the internet and said something very interesting. She said, what did she say, Jasmine? Lately, you gotta expand it for me. Thank you so much. Lately, I've been bored. So I was thinking about getting a job for fun, or maybe work like 2 or 3 days out of the week just to see what it's like. Why not? Ooh, the entitlement. The laziness. The fact that she couldn't read the room. You know, there's people out here looking for jobs. I'm bored, so I'm just gonna get a job today. I couldn't even believe she tweeted that. I just couldn't believe. I said, oh my God, like, she is really...
Earning $1 billion and keeping $1 billion are two entirely different sports. And allegedly, Floyd may have been playing the wrong one, because sources online are suggesting that the infrastructure around his wealth, the team, the entourage, the business ventures, the promotional company.
You already know what's up. These little girls don't know how to do nothing. And she's sitting on I'm bored. And y'all can say, well, her daddy rich, but like, well, what if something happens to her father? Oh, we got trust funds. Okay, cool. He may have trust funds. But does she know how to budget money? Does she know how to make money? Does she know the value of money? That empire, that estate is going to be gone. And statistics show that 85% of second wealth generators from their parents go broke because they don't understand how to manage it, which means there's a few reasons. Either we spent too much time making it, we didn't have time to educate our kids on it, and so we just gave them everything. Or two, they just don't give a damn. They just entitled, spoiled.
They have been quietly hemorrhaging money for years while the Instagram posts kept coming. The Rolls Royces kept rolling, and the world kept believing the brand. Because that's what it allegedly is. A brand. And the brand has allegedly been working overtime to cover something that reports suggest is a much messier financial reality behind the velvet ropes. And breaking. And I say breaking loosely because this is developing online right now as we speak.
About it. Floyd Mayweather with his popularity, Floyd Mayweather with his knowledge of business, boxing business. He's made the mistakes. He's had to fight for everything that he's gotten, and he's built himself into a mega superstar, and he knows the ins and outs of the sport. I feel like if Mayweather Promotions was ran the way it was supposed to be run, Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, should be running the sport of boxing. He should be the premier promoter in the sport. What promoter can stand up to Floyd Mayweather if his promotional company comes after him? But for whatever reason, Floyd Mayweather Promotions has not dominated the game. They sign a lot of guys, and then for whatever reason, those guys get released or there's an issue and they move on. I don't understand that, but my heart for Floyd would be to do just that. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, which we see him doing a lot. Living off your investments, which we hear him talk a lot about, and running the game as the premier promoter.
Fans have allegedly identified discrepancies between Floyd's publicly stated assets and what allegedly appears in certain court-adjacent documents that have been circulating in boxing finance communities, and the numbers allegedly don't match the narrative. And this is where Yaya comes back into the story because she reportedly made comments. Since
responsible for y'all getting media credential at these big fights and getting these free lunches and being a part of a big event. But for years, I've heard people only talk about what Floyd Mayweather wasn't to them, what he did not do. How, even though this was a great event and it's generated tens of millions and in many cases, hundreds of millions, he should have stopped him. He was boring. He was this. I've always supported and pushed back on that narrative of Floyd Mayweather. Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing. It was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he could.
Deleted or clarified, depending on who you ask. That suggested her father's situation is not what people think. And fans immediately split into two camps. One camp saying she was defending him, one camp saying she accidentally said too much. And honestly, both interpretations are terrifying in completely different ways. And now let's talk about the exhibition fights.
People in the sport who aren't professional and it makes us all look bad. It's terrible, and it's so archaic and old, and there's so many egos. People think that they're bigger or better than they are multiple times. They have terrible teams around them that's like their homie from, back in the day running for them. And because of that, these types of deals don't get done, and it all comes down to like, oh, well, ring size, and you can't wear these shoes and this type of glove, and you can't wear this glove. It's like, bro, stop being a fight. Like, that's the problem with the sport, and that's probably what they're running into, a lack of professionalism. And
because this is the part of the story that allegedly reveals the most. Floyd has done multiple exhibition bouts in recent years, fighting influencers, fighting retired athletes, collecting enormous appearance fees. And the public narrative was always, Floyd loves boxing, Floyd loves the sport, Floyd wants to stay relevant. But online speculation is now reframing those exhibitions as something far more calculated, with reports suggesting the fees from those fights were allegedly going toward covering financial obligations that couldn't be met through other means, which would explain why allegedly the team kept saying, "This is the last one," and then scheduling another one and another one and another one. Because legacy doesn't need 4 comeback exhibitions, but allegedly debt does. And I know that sounds harsh, but I'm just telling you what sources.
This is major news. Manny Pacquiao now has a home gym in LA. Pacquiao Prime Boxing Limitless. The truth is, I came today to Hollywood to check out Chuck Norris' start. It's the second time in LA. Last week I looked for it, I couldn't find it. I came back today, was able to find it. It was not easy to find. And I came to pay respect. Chuck Norris, an icon, the legend, passed away. I'm happy to see people didn't forget him. They leave flowers and pictures and things for him. And I'll get into that second half of this video. But as I'm coming back to my car, I look up and I see this sign. And I caught up with one of the residents, a lady that lives nearby, and she told me this used to be Mayweather Fitness. Check it out. Manny Pacquiao wins the first round heading in to the rematch.
They're allegedly saying, and this is where the conspiracy thread gets genuinely wild. Allegedly, there are boxing insiders who claim that certain earnings from Floyd's most famous fights, the fights that generated hundreds of millions, may be tied up in legal situations, partnership disputes, or promotional agreements that allegedly haven't fully resolved, meaning money that was earned may not be money that was received in the way the public assumed.
Fight Mike Tyson, an exhibition match. And then after that, they're saying August, he's supposed to be fighting Manny Pacquiao at the age of 49 after retiring almost 10 years ago. He's putting his 50-0 record on the line, and this is like, that's his thing, 50-0.
I will say this. Me and Floyd, we very close. I've left the strip club at 3 o'clock in the morning where Floyd went to in a Rolls Royce. But he comes out the strip club in sweats and running shoes and jogs home 9, 10 miles. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd been up all day. His mind, his body is still conditioned for who he is. His technique has not been, his technique hasn't.
And if that's true, and again, this is all allegedly, fans are saying, reports suggest, then the picture of Floyd as an untouchable financial genius starts to look a little more complicated, a little more human, and a lot more interesting. And here's the punchline that the internet cannot stop talking about: the man who built an empire on the idea that he was smarter with money than anyone else in the sport, the man who fired promoters to keep more of his own earnings, the man who literally trademarked the word money. Allegedly maybe in a situation where money is the one opponent he's struggling to keep on the canvas. And look, Mayweather's representatives have been very clear. They say all of this is fabricated, misleading, and agenda-driven. And maybe they're right. Maybe this is all a massive misunderstanding and Floyd is sitting on 10 mattresses stuffed with cash and laughing at every single word I'm saying right now. But then why are the lawsuits allegedly real? Why are the tax situations allegedly documented? Why did Yaya say what she allegedly said? Why does a billionaire need 5 exhibition fights? And why does his team respond to gossip with the energy of people who are genuinely concerned about what the gossip might uncover? And the answer to all of those questions allegedly lives somewhere in financial documents that the public may never fully see, which is maybe exactly how Floyd wants it. Because here's the final twist. And I promise you this reframes everything. What if Floyd Mayweather is not broke, not struggling, not in crisis, but is instead allegedly running one of the most sophisticated wealth illusions in celebrity history, using the appearance of spending to make it impossible for anyone to accurately assess what he actually has, using the brand as a smokescreen, using the denials as fuel, using the drama as distraction, because if you're looking at the diamonds, you're not looking at the balance sheet. And if you're writing articles about his spending, you're not auditing his income. And if the whole world is obsessed with whether he has money, nobody is asking where the money actually went. So here's the question I'm leaving you with today, and I genuinely want your thoughts in the comments right now. Is Floyd Mayweather a financial genius hiding a struggle? Or is he allegedly running the longest, most expensive, most glamorous magic trick in sports history, and we've all been watching the wrong hand the entire time?